Morning, everybody. 3 more weeks to go. Not so long.
Can we extend?
Be good, wouldn't it? I think the course needs to be longer, but there we go. Just thanks to Honey for a reminder, how to log in after the course finishes. I can't show you because I'm already, it just doesn't work on mine because I'm registered or something. Okay, it won't appear in the way that it normally does. But I'm just on the TAFE SA Moodle page. So what you have to do is you have to Google TAFE SA Moodle. And you'll get to the Learn To page. It's got to be 2, not number 1, because number 1, see that thing there? You should be, it's got an M there, M for the Moodle, M, sorry. Moodle 2. Moodle 1 died about 2 years ago, so that's why it's called 2. So when you're there, what you'll see is there's like a little, it'll say login, and then underneath it'll say login as guest. So you won't be able to log in as you normally do now, right? So you'll see login as guest. So you just click that, and then it'll say something like, what does it say there? Search for find courses. So alright, so then in the box it'll come up like, you can see that box there, it'll be slightly different. I think the box is in the centre of the page when you're there. Type Diploma, you don't write of English Proficiency JR. I think even if you just put JR in there, I reckon if you just put that, that's the quickest. There's nothing else with JR in it. And that's it, you're in. Now, that's the problem, you just need to do that every time. I mean, you could eliminate that step because you just have it in the bookmark. So you just go straight to that page, and then, yeah, you click on that login thing, and you just go there and type JR. So it's still pretty fast, but that should work, because I've set, there's a little setting way back when I created it, you just say, allow guests to log in, and some Moodles do and some don't. I think probably most don't, but I think with this course it's important that you keep getting access. Yeah. You could try it next time you're home, just try it, because yeah, it should, yeah, just try it from home instead of logging in as normal. Just try to log in as guest and see what you get. And if you get a problem, let me know, because it'll probably apply to everybody else here as well. Yeah. So,
yes, very short, but it was good. It was useful. Boring. It was like how you thought about it.
I think we've got Ahmed today speaking, but he's not here yet. So in the meantime, we'll just cover a few things. I'm in the reading section.
Because I changed it on the
Yeah.
but then I changed it already.
You mean you log into the computer?
Yeah.
Okay. If you've forgotten it, it's in the library. I reset it for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
But
see
anyway, you're in now.
Okay.
Yeah. We've been through a number of reading links already. I hope you are reading, you know, for practice for the assessment, but also just more generally. And we've been through the novels and so on. I just wanted to cover these ones. I think we might have covered them actually. Did we look at those last 3 ones? The ones with satire in them? I'll cover them anyway quickly. The Un-Australian. I don't know why I clicked twice there. Remember that one? It's like it's a kind of satire on. It looks like the same print and everything as Murdoch's Australian newspaper, but Australia upside down. Yes, and it's. Let's see, an easy one. Well, even that one, look, petless couple. A couple without pets lavish creepy amounts of attention on their children. So, you lavish attention, it's a collocation. Lavish is like sort of excessively luxurious as an adjective, but lavish attention just means give lots of attention. Yeah. So they don't have any pets. So what do? They give lots of attention to their children. And this is news, right? It's unusual. Usually it's the other way around, of course, isn't it? You don't have kids, so some people really get pets as sort of replacements, emotional replacements. Yes. Friends of a petless Kirawee couple must be a suburb somewhere. Are concerned they may be overcompensating for their lack of a cat or dog by obsessing over their children. You go over to visit and the kids are just running around inside the house as if they own the place, said Philippa Nurkle, good friend of Tony and Jane Fiddlesticks, silly name. They wash them every day, the children. Every day, and they take them out to a special place just to get their hair cut every month or so. They actually take them with them when they go away on holidays. Said Philippa's incredulous. Now, what do you reckon that means? Incredulous husband Scotty. Again, Latin roots. We've talked about that one, I reckon. Cred. Believe. That's right. So if you're incredulous, and think of also this context, all right? Here's a friend. They actually take them with them when they go away on holidays. Said Philippa's incredulous. What do you think it means? How does the husband feel? Or what does he think? Does he believe it easily or not? But they do. In is like un. Right? Inactive. You know, it could be an opposite. So if you're incredulous, you don't believe it. So somebody tells you something so amazing or so surprising, you don't believe it. You're incredulous.
Incredible.
Yeah, but that's about the thing, the fact. That person, the way you feel or think, is incredulous. Yeah. That would be a nice one to put in a reading assessment because you know, if you know those roots, and we do cover them, plus from that context you can guess how he would feel, and the two things together you should be able to guess that word. Yeah, the last time I was there, one of the kids didn't want to eat all its notice the pronoun, its dinner. Why is it its here? And Jane finished it off for them using the same knife and fork. I was almost ill. The last time I was there, one of the kids didn't want to eat all its dinner. Now think of the title. Petless couple. It's, what do we use it for? People or animals? Animals, right. So the whole thing's a sort of a joke on this reverse attitude, isn't it, towards pets. So they're using it, like the kid is a pet. Right? So that's part of the joke. And Jane, imagine doing this with a pet. Jane finished it off for them using the same knife and fork. I was almost ill. So it's, in other words, it's like the friends all have their norm is that you never do this with kids. Kids are like animals. Makes them sick. All right, now the whole thing is satire, isn't it? And ironic. And that's the point of this link, that all of those two are Australian, and that's a US one, and they're all very cynical. A lot of them, most of them are kind of totally ironic and untrue. And it's interesting when they go around Facebook, though, quite a lot of them go around Facebook, and some people believe them. You have to be quite careful. Oh, there's a good one. All right. Now, on the... yeah, there's a bit of cultural reference sometimes that you need to know. Mensa rallies held around the country. There's two cultural things you need to know here. What happened on the weekend?
The Reclaim Australia protest?
Right, good. So there's one thing you need to know. There were Reclaim Australia protest meetings on the weekend. There are the, and I'll give you a clue, there are the extremely intelligent members. You can see how well educated they look. Yeah, we've got Professor Houghton and Professor Lawton and Emeritus Professor Brainstorm there. Yeah. All right, Mensa. Mensa would be a hard one to know. It's the very elite club. You do an IQ test, intelligence test, and I think you have to get 140 or above to belong to Mensa. So it's, you know, it's the association of extremely intelligent individuals. All right, so there you go. Mensa rallies held around the country, and we've got pictures of these guys here. Clearly a satire about Reclaim Australia. And everything you'd read about them would be the reverse of what's really true. Etc., etc. Yeah, some of it is. Some of it depends on, you know, cultural reference. A lot of it depends on cultural reference. Like here, there's lots of reference to politicians. Mark Latham, Brandis. There's a good one. Oh, you might get that one. Let's have a look. Who's that?
Prince Charles?
Yeah, okay. So, landlord arrives to do inspection. What does he own? Australia. That's right. He's coming down to see how us tenants are keeping the place. Right? He's inspecting the country. Yeah. Australians were madly rushing to clear up empty beer bottles and stray bongs this morning after the landlord announced a last-minute rental inspection. Yeah. So, you know, typical scenario of landlord coming, people have been drinking, so they're clearing up the beer bottles, getting rid of them. What about stray bongs? We'll have to cross to Wali to tell us what this means.
Bongs is
Yeah.
when you smoke weed.
Yeah,
It's
a pipe to smoke marijuana.
Yeah,
The little short
the
one.
little short thing you blow on it.
Stray bongs just means sort of lost somewhere in the room. Yeah. There's shit everywhere. The curtain rail is still broken and Jono hasn't taken the bins out for weeks, a frantic Australian spokesperson said. So it's written like a tenant, isn't it, of a really badly kept house, but he's talking about the country, and that sort of joke would run right through the whole piece. Yeah. So there's a lot of playing around going on. It's complex, isn't it? But fun when you get the jokes. Yeah. So those ones, I mean, it's a particular kind of reading, and there are the three there, and as I say, that one's an American one. Keep your eye on them. They're at the bottom of the reading section. I think we've done that stuff. Media we've covered. I might start, because it's not long to go. I think we've covered our Australian stuff too. Further pathways. Okay. What happens when you finish the course? Some of you have a clear idea, others not. Even if you do the thing you're planning to do at a later stage, you might be thinking about various courses or development of English or whatever, and career. So I've got a few links here that might assist. Depends. Got a very varied group, of course, and not everything's relevant, but I'll go through them quickly. This is useful to know anyway. It doesn't matter what your aim. The AQF, Australian Qualifications Framework. It's a framework that's national. Oh, they've taken the page down. All right. I'll Google it. I'll put this page up instead. Make that bigger. Okay, so so we've got 3 bands. High school, and in high school you get your senior secondary certificate, or here they call it, I've mentioned it before, SACE. SACE 1, SACE 2. So year 11, year 12. Then you'll see that this is, so in Wales here, it doesn't really matter. And that's what it's called in New South Wales. We call it SACE here. Certificate 1, Certificate 2, Certificate 3, Certificate 4. This is in TAFE, South Australia, not New South Wales, same. Okay, you've got your certificates, and we're here. So you can do some certificates in schools, TAFE in schools. There's that program for some courses. All right, so we get to diploma, and then now TAFE and the university. These used to belong just to the universities, but more and more TAFEs, some TAFEs are teaching some of these. Still today, most are taught by universities. Advanced diploma, associate degree, bachelor degree. So think of this really as mainly university, this column. Bachelor degree, yeah. Bachelor degree, usually 3 years, sometimes 4, depends on the area. And then above that, there's an extra year. So that line there is quite important. That's graduation. So below that is what we call undergraduate courses, and above it is postgraduate, post after. So here we have, you can do an honours degree, that's like what my daughter's just done, an extra year of specialisation in something. She's done psychology, you can do history, or mathematics, whatever. These two are not as demanding as something like an honours degree. An honours degree is really, you're wanting to get very academic. These two things, notice, they've got the word graduate in front of them. So a graduate diploma is different from a diploma. And then there's an advanced diploma. So you have to watch the word diploma. There are 3 types. And there are quite different levels, right? This one, you can only do if you're a graduate. That's why it's called it's a postgraduate course. And that is generally a year long. For example, if you want to be a teacher, the way in secondary schools, the way I did it was do a bachelor degree in English and psychology, then do honours English, and then I did a graduate diploma in education, 1 year, and then you're a high school teacher. That's one pathway to be a teacher. These graduate diplomas often, they are courses that, these 2 things are designed more for the workplace, getting you registered or qualified. So, for example, say you want to teach English to people, speakers of other languages. In TAFE, you're required to have a graduate diploma in TESOL. And different industries may require a graduate diploma in something. So that's a year long. A graduate certificate is generally 6 months, so it's shorter. But for example, again, in the English teaching area, you can do a graduate certificate in literacy, for example. What these are designed for, you might, have got your teaching qualification and you've been out teaching and you're just getting more, you're an English teacher generally, but you're getting more and more interested in just literacy or just say ESL, So a lot of people do these after, like they're already working, and they do these to get qualifications so that they can follow a particular, more specialist pathway. So they tend to be more focused on practice out there. The honours is much more getting people ready for these higher level study areas. So, master's degree, generally 2 years. And then, climbing the mountain here, the oxygen's getting thin. Doctoral degree, PhD, 3 years. Sometimes you can combine some of these various combinations. You don't always have to do the master's, sometimes you can do honours. For example, my daughter's this morning, 10 o'clock, she's going for an interview to get into the master's. Very hard to get into because to be a registered psychologist, you have to do a master's degree. So there's a lot of competition for it. Strangely, if she doesn't get in, she will do a doctorate. So it's actually easier to do a doctorate than a master's in that sense. So in other words, you don't need the master's to go on to there, but you do need honours. So honours people can go there, or they can go there, or they can go into the workforce and do something else, of course. So the point is you don't always, it's not a definite pathway one to one. Sometimes you can do a bachelor degree and do a master's without doing the honours. But at Adelaide Psychology Department, they require you to do the honours. It will depend on the university very much what the pathway is and what their rules are. So this is just showing the level, but each institution is going to have its pathway, its do's and its don'ts. You're going to have to inquire about that kind of thing.
And sorry, what did your daughter before? Now she did a bachelor honours degree, that was 1 year?
That's right. So she did 3 years of psychology there, plus other subjects, bachelor degree. Then she did bachelor honours degree. She's just finished now, and now she's trying for these ones. So your qualifications that you've got in previous countries, you need to get them translated by a registered translator. Then you take them over to 55 Curry Street here, the Skills Recognition Board, and they will map them against this, and they'll say what they're equal to. So is everyone,
I give my bachelor degree to the Skills to All, and they give me back the
past
they
tense.
give me back a certificate that it's assessed Australian bachelor degree.
Yep.
But for the master degree, they said they cannot find the equal courses, and asked me to post my master degree to
Canberra,
Canberra.
Sometimes that happens, that's right. Sometimes the local office, you might have got the degree from a university they're not familiar with, or because they've got a database of lots of the unis, but sometimes there are various things that need further investigation, so send it to Canberra. I think you have to pay more for it, do you?
I didn't send that.
Oh, right.
I think better is enough.
Yeah, right. Sometimes things do go to Canberra as that next step. So that's kind of important to get that process done, get things translated, get things assessed. Even if for two reasons. One, if you're going on, obviously you need to show what you've achieved so far so that you don't go backwards in some cases. Sometimes you can get credit for things you've done also. You need to show that if you want to, basically you have to, for getting credit, you have to get into the course first and then you go and ask them about credit. And often they'll need a breakdown of the course that you've done and the subjects and so on, so they can see if it's equivalent or not. So you need your sort of AQF certificate, if you like, for that, and also just for job seeking as well. You need to be able to say, look, I've got something equivalent to an honours degree or bachelor or master's or whatever. So that is, I'll put that one there so you can look at it again if you need to. Just on beyond qualifications in Australia, if you're heading towards work, or even if you're going to study first and then work, is ultimately most of you are going to work and look for jobs. So the key in Australia is really this, employability skills. About 20 years ago or more, there were surveys across by a guy called Meyer and his team. They went around Australia. They surveyed employers, big and small, you know, BHP in the corner shop, and said, what do you want in an employee? And they gathered that information up and they created the beginning of this list. And then there have been several subsequent surveys because you need to keep surveying because things change. And this is the latest one. It's called employability skills. And employers in Australia, and this is where it's somewhat different from other countries sometimes, is universities, I've said this before to you, universities don't really matter which university you go to. You've got an honours degree at Sydney Uni or Adelaide, it doesn't really matter. They're much more interested in your skills that you bring to that job. So, you know, if you're a dentist or a geologist or a psychologist, you've got that qualification is just the baseline. And they get plenty of people with that qualification. And once you've got that qualification, you know, in terms of sorting out the CVs, okay, they don't have it, these do, doesn't matter what university. After that, they really don't look at the university very much. Academic record might have some influence. Usually, in most job applications, you don't really put academic record unless you can squeeze it in. It's good to squeeze it in. For example, if you've got a first class honours or your average high distinction or distinction, it's good to put that in. But generally, people don't attach full academic records. So the point is that the qualification is just the start. All right, so they get everybody with the qualification. Then the next thing they focus on, and the main thing, are these skills. So if you, I think one of the main tasks, just make this a bit bigger. One of the main tasks for you in terms of getting ready for, you know, interviews and applications and so on is to look at these, I think it's 8 or 9 areas. So we've got communication skills, teamwork, problem solving, planning and organising, learning, technology, initiative, starting things by yourself, not waiting for people to tell you, self-management. Let's just dive into one at random. Okay, initiative and enterprise. Identifying opportunities not obvious to others. So you don't have to wait for the boss or someone higher to see the problem. You can see it, or it might be an opportunity, creative opportunity. You identify it, you get in there and suggest a creative idea or a solution or something. Assessing the competitive advantage of ideas. So you got 4 ideas, you know, what's best. Identifying customer or client requirements. Strategic goals, okay, how do you get there? Good strategizing. Being creative, initiating ideas and innovative solutions. Determining commercial viability. Viability means will it work or won't it? The of ideas, translating ideas into action, demonstrating political, commercial, environmental, cultural, etc. sensitivities. That's an interesting one. You'd be very strong, obviously, on something like that. Just, you can, you know, one thing, turn your previous and current, you know, other cultural knowledge to an advantage, definitely, you know. Your fact you've got another cultural perspective on things